Okay, so this is the second video, just specifically talking about the summative assignment for the week beginning April 14th. So the assignment this week is called Creating Your Ideal Living Area for Social Distancing. So I'm going to click on the link. You can see it here. So if you go into either the HSP3U or the HSP3C, it'll be there, and it'll be at the bottom under Creating Your Ideal Living Area for Social Distancing. So I'll click on that. And you can see here the instructions are here. So obviously when this is done, and by the way, this is due not this week, but next Wednesday. I'm giving you this week and part of next week to do that. That will kind of, I believe, meet that requirement of the 3 hours plus. I'm not saying this will take 3 hours, but I've also given you the option of doing the unit test. So this is due Wednesday of next week. Anyway, click on the link and I'll just take you through this. So there's a little bit of spiel at the top here, which I wrote. The last few weeks are unprecedented in so many ways. With everything that's happened, I personally felt more connection with the novel room and what the characters would have experienced in terms of isolation and facing the same area and routine day after day. So just a kind of quick thing. So again, originally you guys were going to do a diorama, recreating room, putting objects, materials in there based on the novel. You're going to do something slightly different. So what you're going to do is create the ideal living space to get someone through the next few weeks of isolation. So your description should include the house or apartment in general, as well as rooms within the house and apartment and some specific details within the living space. Now, who you do this based on is entirely up to you. You could do this on yourself. So where would you choose to be in an ideal world for this time of social distancing? You could create your ideal living area based on that. Or you could base this on the characters from Room. If they're in this situation, where would you put them after everything they've been through? What would be ideal for Jack and Mark? Or you can base it on a more generalized idea, like what would be ideal for an elderly person? What would keep them safe, feeling happy, and so on. So that's basically what the assignment is. In that, you should include this: 3 rooms or areas that would be part of the house. Now, if you're part of the college group, you only have to do 2 rooms. At least 7 objects or materials within the living space. So 7 objects you would place in your area. Again, if you're doing the college version, that would be 5. And 2 examples of decor or living space that you'd have in the house. So, for example, brightly coloured walls to create a positive mood. I don't know about you, but if I'm in a room that is brightly coloured, I tend to feel happier. If I've got lots of natural lighting in the room, it makes me feel better. This is the important part of the assignment. You need to reference 2 assignments if you're doing the university version. 1, and this is important, if you're doing the college version. You need to reference 2 theorists for the university section, from Erikson, Piaget, and Abraham Maslow, and explain how your ideal living space would either maintain or even move you or a person you choose up to the next stage of their developmental theory based on where they're living. So, for example, your ideal living area would obviously provide you with the basic level of Maslow's hierarchy. So you'd have shelter, food, water, and so on. But how could you move them up to the safety needs or the love and belonging level? For instance, you might want to make sure that within your house you have access to the internet or a telephone, so communication with loved ones, as I'm sure we're all finding, which is so important. We were able to maintain those relationships via communication. So you might want to have something like that in the house to kind of meet that love and belonging stage of Maslow's. So if you're doing the university version, you're doing 2 theorists. If you're doing the college, it's 1 theorist. Now, completing the assignment. How you do this is entirely up to you. I'll leave it up to your discretion. You can do this as a write-up. If you're like me, you're not very creative, you can do this, or you just prefer doing a written assignment, do a 1-page write-up on a Google document. If you're doing a college, that's about a half page, I'm expecting, okay? If you're more artistic, you could do a labeled diagram or drawing. So if you're kind of more into architecture and that kind of stuff, you could do it on a Bristol board or a large piece of paper, draw the house, draw the living area. I'd still expect all these things met. So you still need to put in your diagram the objects, what the decor would be, and somewhere on there the 2 theorists that would, and their stage of development that would be met. Or finally, you could talk about it through a video. So you could record yourself like I'm doing right now on a video. At first, it seems super weird. After a while, you kind of get used to it. So that's the other option. Below is the rubric. I'm going to run out of time. So just read through the rubric. It's very straightforward. But that pretty much sums up the assignment.